Officer, yesterday, Jackie Bailey and I hosted a health summit with frontline NHS staff, representative organisations and experts working across our NHS. They told us that our NHS is broken and the system is failing, that they are being asked to do the impossible and that every day this crisis puts patients' lives at risk. And they were united in telling us that the cause of this crisis is not COVID, is not the flu, is not strep A and is not winter pressures. They say that this is a crisis that is 10 years in the making. But the First Minister does not agree. So why does she think frontline NHS staff are wrong?
First Minister.
I don't think frontline health service staff are wrong in what they say, but I do think I don't know why it took until yesterday for Anna Sarwar and Jackie Bailey to meet with health service professionals. The Health Secretary meets with them regularly, and I have engagements as well.
You probably never met them.
But what health service professionals say to us, what I'm sure they said to Anna Sarwar yesterday, is yes, there were pre-existing challenges in our National Health Service that go before COVID. We were taking action to address those. So if you look at funding in our National Health Service, frontline health funding has more than doubled under this government. It's higher per head of population than it is in other parts of the UK. There are almost 30,000 more people working in our National Health Service today than when this government took office. More healthcare professionals, whether that's doctors, qualified nurses or across a range of different professional groups than there are per head of population in other parts of the UK. So we will continue to work with frontline healthcare professionals to deal with these challenges. But what I do take issue with Anna Sarwar on is that somehow it is not the case that COVID and flu is having a very significant impact on these pressures. There are right now over 1,200 patients with COVID in our hospitals. Anybody who says that is not having an impact on what we're dealing with right now, frankly, is not dealing in reality. In the couple of weeks, I think, leading up to Christmas or over the Christmas period, there were 1,000 patients a week with flu admitted to our hospitals. Anybody who says that is not a significant factor in what we're dealing with right now is frankly not dealing in reality. And that's a comment directed at Anna Sarwar, not at healthcare professionals who are dealing with these issues each and every day. So whether it's on NHS pay, whether it's on record investment, record staffing numbers, we'll continue to support the NHS during these difficult times, as we always have done.
Anna Sarwar.
I think it's pretty clear from that answer who's not dealing with reality, and it's Nicola Sturgeon and her SNP government. She might not want to listen to me, but she should listen to the organisations, the Royal College of Nursing, the Royal College of Midwives, the Royal College of Emergency Medicine, the Royal College of Physicians and Surgeons of Glasgow, the Royal College of Physicians of Edinburgh, the Royal College of Psychiatrists, the Royal College of Surgeons of Edinburgh, the Royal College of General Practitioners, Glasgow Local Medical Committee, the British Medical Association in Scotland, Unison, GMB, Unite, all saying they've heard the excuses before, they don't believe it, and they think the First Minister is not doing enough. Because the sticky plaster approach will not solve the problem. We heard directly from staff about the impact that this crisis is having on them. They told us, in their words, that this is causing them moral injury. That is personal distress and trauma because they can't provide the care they know their patients need. Psychological and mental trauma for our NHS staff. One of them said that the conditions they were working in meant no dignity, no respect, no safety for patients. And the BME and the Royal College of Emergency Medicine have both said in stark terms that this crisis is leading to avoidable deaths. And they predict that could be as many as 60 avoidable deaths a week. The experts tell us that what was announced this week will not be enough to address the problem. So why can't the First Minister see that her sticky plaster approach is not working?
First Minister.
We'll continue to take a range of actions. What we announced this week was in addition to the actions already being taken, and of course the record investment that we are putting into our National Health Service in the next financial year, supported by the tax decisions we are taking, asking those who can most afford it to pay a bit more in tax. We'll see an additional £1 billion going into our National Health Service. So we will support investment, and where it is appropriate and in the interest of patients, we will support reform in care and patient pathways within our National Health Service. Nothing Anna Sarwar has said to me today hasn't already been said directly to government by healthcare professionals, because we engage day in and day out with them. They are dealing with unprecedented pressures right now. Some of that does necessitate longer-term reform in our National Health Service, but some of that is absolutely being caused by the winter pressures that have been at their peak in recent weeks. I would hope that over the coming weeks and very soon we will start to see flu levels reduce significantly, for example, and that will start to reduce some of that pressure on our hospitals. I think the situation with COVID remains more unpredictable and volatile given new variants that are circulating. So I hope we will see some of this pressure abate, but that will still leave a challenging situation in our health service, which is why the investment, the increase in staffing and the reforms continue to be so important. No government anywhere has a single solution to this right now, but this government remains focused on taking the actions that are necessary, which is why I think we do continue to have the trust of the people of Scotland as we do so.
Anna Sarwar.
The First Minister is just not listening. The First Minister is just not listening, and the approach is not working. This is not just a crisis in winter. This is a crisis that's all year round. And Nicola Sturgeon's excuses won't wash. The crisis in our NHS is not because of COVID, it's not because of flu, it's not because of strep A, it's not winter pressures. This is a crisis 15 years in the making. And the result, the longest ever NHS waiting list, 750,000 Scots waiting. The worst ever A&E waiting times, 2,000 people a week waiting more than 12 hours. Record levels of delayed discharge, 58,501 NHS bed days lost a month as a result. After 15 years of the SNP, our NHS is broken and the system is failing. Staff are being asked to do the impossible and patients are being asked to accept the unacceptable. Lives are being lost. Isn't it the case that the people that caused the problem can't be the ones to fix the problem?
First Minister.
On the latter point, that is, of course, always up to the people of Scotland, who they trust to be in government to lead the country through challenges. Of course, there were challenges in our health service before COVID. I have never sought to suggest otherwise. And the actions we were taking around investment, staffing, reforms to patient pathways are designed to address that. There are record numbers of staff in our health service right now, almost 30,000 more than when this government took office, and of course more staff per head of population than anywhere else in the UK. That is the reality. But I think people watching at home, listening to Anna Sarwar, around 1 in 25 of the Scottish population that have COVID right now, the many people watching at home who will be suffering from flu and other respiratory illnesses right now, to hear Anna Sarwar say that the fact that we've got 1,200 COVID patients in our hospitals right now, or that 1,000 patients with flu have been admitted a week in recent times to our hospitals, to hear Anna Sarwar say that has got nothing to do with the pressures in our NHS, we'll wonder what on earth Anna Sarwar is talking about. So we will continue to work with, listen to those on the front line of our National Health Service as we continue to strive to give them fair pay increases and as we continue to support them to deliver excellent care, as even during these tough times they continue to do for the vast majority of patients across our country.